Eric Elledge was on a roll this week on Facebook. He had another question he posted. He says, does Ciampa have the best heat in the business today? Also, will his character transfer well to the main roster when he gets called up? As far as heat, proper, true heel heat, not go away X-Pac, Stephanie McMahon heat, not annoyed Roman Reigns heat, the company's pushing you too hard heat. The kind of heel heat you want from a heel. Yes, absolutely. The best heel heat in the company, bar none, hands down. Just as Johnny Gargano has the best babyface reactions in the company right now, because Daniel Bryan hasn't really started rolling yet, and he would be the only other person I could think has ever in recent memory gotten those kinds of
Seth Rollins in Montreal a couple of weeks ago,
but not like the kind of just love that Johnny Gargano has been getting in NXT. I mean, they love
Montreal,
but they're excited about Seth Rollins. They like him, but it's not this like just adoration of the babyface character. It's slightly different. I've got up on my finger. It's more of the underdog babyface thing, whereas Seth's the badass hero that you want to cheer. Seth's getting the kind of reaction that they want Roman to get.
Of course.
You know what I mean? If they're trying to make Roman an underdog, he should be getting the kind of reactions when he loses that Daniel Bryan got on SmackDown. Johnny Gargano gets all of those. And conversely, the yin to his yang, or the yang to his yin, or however it works.
Whatever.
Tommaso Ciampa gets the best heel heat. I mean, look at that guy in the front row. Good God, it's still real to him.
Yeah, it's exactly. I want to address the second question, part of that question that Eric mentioned is, will his character transfer well to the main roster when he gets called up? And my immediate gut shot is to go back to Kevin Owens' debut with Cena's Open Challenge. I don't think many people in that, other than holding the NXT title when he did come out, remember he did come over with the title. I don't think many people know who he is. And I think since in those past 3 years, I think more people have started to watch NXT because of the rise of the WWE Network. But I don't know that the fans that are attending, the 15 to 20,000 people that go to the average Monday Night Raw or SmackDown Live show, are watching NXT.
Well, of course, you've just hit on the problem with any NXT call-up. Right. Asuka was the same way. Sure. She's one of the biggest deals to come out of NXT, arguably, and they still had to do a good job of giving her promo packages and selling her to the mainstream crowd. Tommaso Ciampa would be the same way. You have this incredible... before I continue with that, let's look at Bayley.
Okay.
Incredible storyline in NXT, right? One of the better storylines in NXT history, in my opinion. Brings up the main roster, and they bring her up at the exact point in her storyline that she was at the end of NXT. So everyone from the main audience had no idea of anything that happened in NXT other than what they were hinted at. And so they had no reason to care about her.
Yeah.
And because she has such an odd gimmick, it was really hard to get the audience to properly connect with her other than she's this happy, bubbly chick, right? You don't have the weight of where she came from. It'd be the same thing with Ciampa. You would have to establish who he was in NXT and why this group over here in the mainstream crowd really, really freaking hates him, right? With Kevin Owens, as you said, when he came up, he was put over by John Cena. In his first match, he beat John Cena freaking clean.
Yeah. Nasty fisherman suplex off the top. It's just awesome.
And he looked great in this match. He pulled out a whole bunch of crazy moves. People were like, who the hell is this guy?
So I don't think Ciampa has the moveset that can get him excited.
I think he does.
Fine, but I think what we're going to have to do is how do we do video packages to transfer this heat that has been building for 2 years now with the build up and the tear down of DIY?
But this is my point: is so much of his heat comes from the love for Johnny Gargano, right?
Maybe, kind of. Or the love for DIY and the vitriol of the betrayal.
It's the whole storyline. Yeah, it's that whole storyline is where
is not going to transfer well to the main roster.
Exactly,
and I don't know how you fix that.
I don't know how you fix that either. To be able to transfer him to the main roster with the level of heat he has now would be impossible without redoing this storyline on the main roster, or somehow. No, I'm going to say it's impossible to do that without transferring this storyline to the main roster, because otherwise people are just going to be getting this heat secondhand.
Yeah.
If we're told the story as opposed to witnessing it and experiencing it over the course of the last year and a half, it's not going to be the same thing.
One more little example I'll give you is AOP. AOP is still out there murdering jobbers. They really haven't transferred yet, even though we know they dominated the NXT tag division for the better part of a year. Sanity, we still haven't seen Sanity.
We don't know what they're going to. Yeah,
so we don't know how they're going to transfer.
Jury is still out on how they're going to do them, but AOP definitely feels a little bit neutered since they came to the main roster.
Yes.
Partially because the loss of Paul Ellering, partially because the graphics change, and it's just not. They're not as terrifying as they were in NXT.
Good question, Eric.
Good question. It's definitely a wait and see, but no, I don't. I think they're going to have to do some work to get Ciampa this level of heat on the main roster.